Welcome back.
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I have so many questions, but I'm going to try and contain myself and not blabber on.
Yeah.
But I feel like sleep is just such a huge thing for parents and families.
It is a very huge topic in the early years.
Yeah.
Yes.
And even in longevity now and wellness, because I'm really in that space, and the common denominator is needing sleep. And, you know, it's good for your brain, it's good for growth, it's good for your muscles, it's good for disease.
Just everything.
For everything.
Yeah. It's our superpower.
I know.
Yeah.
So I've been telling my husband all the stats and things. I'm like, I need more sleep.
Yes. I think we've swung back the other way. I think we were very sleep when you're dead, hustle, hustle, hustle.
Yes.
But now we're coming back to like, oh, we really do need to prioritize sleep.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, Beck, I want to learn a little bit about you. You obviously love children. That's what got you started in early childhood education.
It is, yes. I sort of always knew that I wanted to be a mum, and when, you do work experience in high school, I was putting my hand up to be in the childcare centre. So yeah, I did that, and I tried retail, and it just wasn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be with the little ones. So yeah, I started there. I sort of found a job that allowed me to do my traineeship and work full time in
great.
childcare when I was like 18.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then I sort of just kept studying. I got my advanced diploma and was in the industry for about 15 years or just under.
Wow.
So yeah, I felt really lucky. Yeah, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know what I want to do. And that just felt really good for me.
You always knew.
Yeah.
And what was like the moment where you went from that into becoming the sleep teacher?
So I started doing a little bit on the side after I became a mum. So I found it really interesting working in childcare because you obviously are exposed to a lot of families,
Mm-hmm.
and they all have the way, doing things differently, which is great, and how it happens. But it was just interesting to see, you'd have mothers coming in and being so obsessed and worried about the naps at childcare.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh my God, they have to sleep at this time, or if they don't, and then you'd have other mums come in and be so like, oh, whatever,
go with the flow.
Yeah. And I saw it impact them, different families so differently, and really negatively for some. And it really, so when I was getting a bit older and I had my own child, I sort of, he was a great sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, why can they be so different?
Yeah.
Why can some babies sleep really well and some just are waking all the time?
Yeah.
And so that got me interested, and I, started researching it, and I ended up studying it, and I was just kind of doing it on the side while I was working in childcare, and then I just loved it. It's such a rewarding job to help families out of the pits of sleep deprivation.
So when you were working in the childcare and you saw some families like the negative, impact, what were those ones doing?
So it just took the joy out of the early years for them, and I feel like
those scheduled ones, do you think?
No, like the babies that weren't sleeping.
Okay.
So didn't really.
It wasn't like a particular parenting, because I'm
sleep.
like, is it the scheduled ones? I won't be scheduled.
No, so just like sleep deprivation in general.
You saw the families suffer.
Yeah, and it was harder for them, and it's not, and like you said, there's babies that just naturally will sort of sleep easier, and then there's some that just need a little more guidance, and I think that's where parents are a little bit scared because it's so noisy about sleep.
There's so much mixed information out there. Like I've spoken to you before, we were speaking about co-sleeping briefly, and it is overwhelming for mamas and dads. Like the cry it out method, they go in and tap them and leave, sleeping, co-sleeping, not co-sleeping, scheduled naps, or going with the flow.
Yeah.
What would you say, like someone's pregnant, they're going to have their first child, what would you say, like your first 3 tip advice for them?
I would say, so the fourth trimester, which is that first 3 months, you are just learning yourself as a mother now. So I would not put any pressure on schedules or routines. I really would just focus on feeding and getting that really down, whether it be breast or bottle, and bonding and like just fine. It's you're like a new person.
Yeah.
You've got this brand new human, but you're also a new person because you're now mum. So it can be really, I remember coming home with my first bub and I was like, oh my God, what do I do now? Like I'm just sitting on the couch with this baby and it's wild.
I know. So, looking back, it is pretty crazy. You're like, I have to make sure this baby is fed, clean, sleeping. Like I'm responsible for this human.
Yeah, you're so used to just doing whatever you want when you want. And now you're like, oh God, like
your life revolves around them.
Yeah. So I would just say I get a lot of DMs saying, oh, you know, like my 3-week-old will only feed to sleep or sleep on me. And I'm like, it's fine. It is so normal.
Got you.
Just do it. Yeah. Like we can always help whenever things feel too heavy or, you know, and I always say get through those first 12 weeks as best you can.
Okay.
Contact nap. Like, you know, we always want to try and expose babies to different things. So we just need to know that babies learn through repetition.
Okay.
So the more we do something, the more that feels really good for that baby. And so then when we go to try something else, it's like, oh, what are you doing, Mum? We haven't done this before.
Yeah.
And so that's where parents can panic and like because of the crying. And so we're not going to do that. We're going to do this. And it's, you know, they stay stuck in that rhythm, which may no longer be serving them anymore.
Yeah.
But they're just scared to change because they're like, new. I don't know what to do because my baby just screams at me now. Yeah. So yeah, that would just be the first 12 weeks kind of just
let them
nuzzle
do what
in.
They need to do.
Yeah. Get to know things. You know, following awake windows is good. It's easy. Creating a nice sort of sleep environment for them. So, you know, swaddling.
Yeah, swaddling's like key.
Yeah.
That was
we
key
love
with all of
white
mine.
noise because it can just kind of buffer some external noises. You don't feel like you're walking on eggshells in the house. But yeah, and just kind of getting to know what they like. So trying different ways of settling them, not just reverting back to the same thing every time. Yeah.
What are some ways of settling kids? Have you seen those cribs that actually rock the baby?
The snoo?
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Look, I think probably for the first child, you might not need one just because you have the time to sort of do it. I think they'd be epic for subsequent children.
Yeah, if you have a big family.
Second set of hands.
I know. It's pretty interesting.
I would have loved to try one with my third, but I didn't. But I don't feel like there's an issue with this new. I think you just have to realize that you will eventually have to transition away from it, and it would just be like anything.
They get used to it, don't they?
Absolutely. And, you know, they do. I think the snoo has a weaning process.
Oh, great.
But we help so many families move out of the snoo. Like it's fine. I would say not do it because you're scared of getting rid of it. I think if it's helping you and it's keeping you sane.
Depends on the family.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
So with some of those options you were saying with the child, how to comfort them.
Yeah.
What are some of those things? Because I know one would be, you know, picking them up and patting them
kind of like you mean a newborn?
No, after the newborn stage.
Okay. So there's a few different settlings that you can do. There's obviously, and it depends on the temperament, what's going on for that family, if they've got other siblings and toddlers that they've got to sort of be with as well. But it actually doesn't come down just to settling in itself. We actually want to have a look at feeding, awake windows, naps, placement of naps. I think a lot of people get bogged down with the actual, okay, what do I do when it comes to nap time or bedtime? But if we haven't sort of taken a look at what's happened before we get to the settle, that's where it's either going to go well and the baby's going to pick up sort of new patterns, or they're just going to scream for an hour and mum's going to end up, you know, reverting back to the feed or the bounce. So it's getting that wider lens and really setting that baby up well to be ready for sleep, and then we use a settling method. So it can be in the room, we can be sitting on a chair and just starting to get that baby a little bit more used to going to sleep from in their sleep space with support. And then we're sort of weaning off how much we're going to do to sort of get them across the line into going to sleep.
So what age do you think kids should be sleeping in their own room without a parent?
So SIDS, Red Nose guidelines are 6 to 12 months is recommended to room share. And then after that, I mean, it's up to each parent their own. They just have the recommendations. But then after that, you know, typically we would see babies being able to sleep through the night from about 8 to 9 months without a feed, if that's what you were sort of wanting to, you know, get to.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's wrong if they're not.
Yeah.
But it's a realistic goal to be able to do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on co-sleeping?
I think each to their own. You know, what I see a lot is parents falling into co-sleeping.
Yeah, because it's easy, I guess, if they're tired.
So it's not an intentional decision. It's, oh my God, I can't get this child to sleep. I'm so tired. I'm going to bring them into bed.
Sleep with them.
You know, and so that's where it can become a little bit unsafe if it's not set up properly and you're not intentionally like, I want to co-sleep. If it's working for that family and everyone's sleeping well, great. Like, do it.
Okay.
But, you know, if it's not, if your baby is waking hourly, they're constantly just sucking on the breast or the bottle, you're not getting sleep, they're not getting sleep, I would say co-sleeping's not working. You know, and it can be better. And, you know, I could not co-sleep with my children. I'm such a light sleeper and I literally wouldn't be able to sleep. Like, I don't like anyone
every
touching
turn.
me.
No, I get you. So it's different.
There's
depends. No right or wrong when it comes to co-sleeping.
No.
Okay.
Like, that's our biggest motto at the Sleep Teacher is it's not a problem if it's not a problem.
Yeah,
you know?
I love that.
If you don't worry about what everyone else is saying. If you're happy with your situation and you're getting sleep, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
But even if you're doing something and then you get 6 months in and you think, oh, okay, this isn't working anymore.
I'm going to change
because children outgrow settling methods. The older they get, they're going to start resisting that really heavy intervention from parents, which is so normal.
Yeah, we're going to get to I need details on that for my 4-year-old soon. I'm going to be like details because I'm really struggling, so I'll need details.
Okay. Yeah.
But just before we leave co-sleeping, because I've had a full 360 with my point of view and there is so much information out there, and I think as a new mum or, you know, you've got a couple of kids, when you see stuff online, you just feel like that's the way it's meant to be.
Totally.
But I think the conversation's a lot more open now. And at the beginning, I was very much like, my kids need to be sleeping in their room and sleep the whole night and not come into my bed.
Yeah.
And now with my youngest, and I don't know if this has backfired on me, but she, like, I love her coming into my bed and I love her sleeping in my bed because I feel like maybe she is going to be my last.
Yep.
So I love the cuddles and I love like her waking up and her face is squished up against mine and I've got a foot on my face. And
that is
the tangling.
my worst nightmare.
Oh my God. That's my husband's worst nightmare. He goes to another room now.
Yeah.
He goes, every turn he's awake and he's got to be, you know, feeling good for work the next day. Yeah. He'll go to a new room and he goes, look, you want your daughter in your bed? You get her. But he's going to another room. And I do feel, look, that must cause a lot of conflict with relationships because you're like kicking one person out for the other one.
Yeah.
But I just feel
it's so fine though.
Like I'm going to miss it.
And that's fine. You know, there's some people that really like that connect. If they're working full time, the child's in care, like they want that connection as well, which is so fine. But again, it's what works for that family. And it's literally not right or wrong. One mother who co-sleeps with her child is not going to have a better bond or connection with a mum who decides that, no, I want to go in my bed and they're going to go in their bed.
That's interesting.
You know, like all my children have never slept in my bed. They've always slept in their own room and they're obsessed with me. You know, like,
okay, that's really interesting to know, like, for mummies.
You're building connections with them in their daytime, in their awake time, when you're, you know, bonding with them in that time.
Yeah, I think I needed to hear that more than anyone.
Yeah, like sleep, and we know how important sleep is. And again, like if you're both getting good sleep, it's great. You know, you don't.
I can sleep through anything. I'll sleep anywhere, sleep through a foot in my face. I'm like, this is valuable sleep time. I'm taking it.
Yeah.
But I think I really needed to hear that because I am so busy with other commitments and things, I do feel like just keep her close at night and I'm getting that extra bond. But really, I'm not. I'm just getting a
foot to the face.
A wrestling match, which, probably
but
isn't
honestly,
the best.
If don't let it make you feel guilty if you love it, because that's fine as well,
Well, I think I feel guilty for the husband part.
Well,
like, do you ever have people that you sleep coach and then they're like, can you give us a husband and wife coach too here? Because sometimes it causes that divide.
Totally. You can see why marriages,
I can see.
It's hard. It's so hard, especially in the first couple of years, which is, again, why I think getting on top of sleep helps so much, and it's hard for the fathers or the partners that aren't like the primary carer because, that child just usually wants mum or whoever's home with them or, especially if they're breastfeeding and they feel like they can't help or support. And so you start to get a bit of resentment and, when resentment builds, that's not good either. So we get the parents coming to us when they have reached their limit, and unfortunately they do wait a bit too long and wait for things to be really
when is a suitable time to reach out to yourself or a sleep coach?
When things are feeling heavy and you're have really bad anxiety about naps or bedtime, you're dreading, that sun coming down because you're like, what is tonight going to bring?
Okay.
That if it's all consuming, you're not getting out of the house, that's when you need support and to reach out, because it can be very different. We're not into you've got to have all naps in the cot. We're mums ourselves.
Busy girls.
Yeah, we know what's realistic and we just give you the tools to set you up really well to succeed and for having day naps that will complement your baby's night as well.
Yeah, no, I feel like that is such a huge game changer for families and their moods. Let me quickly ask you about Giselle, because you can give advice up to 5 for most families, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. She's 4, so lucky I can ask you. Yes. With her, it's finding her going down is dragging out for sometimes hours. That's so embarrassing, but hours.
Yeah.
I've got a quick, oh my God, it's common.
It's so common.
Because I've got a strict bedtime 7:30, or I say quiet time because I find my kids bedtime is a swear word.
Yes.
They're like, what? No, but this.
Delay.
Yes. But I haven't had dinner. Oh, but my tummy hurts.
Yeah.
Oh, but we didn't read a story tonight. All of the list comes.
Absolutely.
So I say quiet time. So I'm like, you can, go up to your room and play with a toy or read a book like that. Calm, relaxing, calm time.
Yeah.
So I do that. I've got the white noise. I've got the light, the red melatonin light.
Yeah.
I've got the diffuser.
You've got all of the things.
I've got all of the things. But Giselle, she will just, she just wants me to lie with her. And sometimes I do that. That's fine. But sometimes it's an hour and a half of lying there and, I'm tired too and I'm falling asleep in there too.
I was going to say you wake up an hour later and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, where am I? Yeah, that's it. So it's some nights are okay.
Yeah.
But some nights I do dread bedtime because I'm like, okay, this is going to be the next 3 hours of me going back to a room or lying down or negotiating with her, and I'm finding it really challenging. Is there hope for me?
Absolutely. It's hard though, right? This age group, they definitely know what they want.
Yeah.
But I think, and this is what I talk a lot of parents, 2+, it's, you can have all those things like the white noise, the light, the diffuser, but unfortunately it does come down to parent response and what you're consistently showing that child, right? So she just kind of learns through repetition, and at the moment you laying with her feels really good because that's her normal.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't mean that she can't learn something else, and it's boundaries, right? We don't like to say no to our kids because they tantrum. So we're like, oh no, shut that down.
They're screaming.
Okay, I'll lay with you.
Yeah.
But if you can just obviously having a solid plan behind you is key. You don't want to go into it just like hoping and praying. I would say screen time is a big one for little ones now, because if we're having screens a lot before bedtime or, after dinner and things like that, iPads, whatever it is, you're actually sort of zapping their sleep pressure that's building. Wow. So in the daytime, especially if they're not napping, they're going to build their sleep pressure until bedtime. So that's what makes it easy for them to fall asleep. But if you've got a little one, say, who's really resisting sleep, 6:37, which is when naturally their body's sort of wanting to go to sleep, I would say something in the period just before bedtime is draining their sleep pressure. So, or if they're like a bit wired, so if they're going to bed too late, they get that second wind and it looks like they've got the zoomies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this floods their little body with cortisol, which acts like adrenaline.
Oh my goodness. So I actually had this conversation with my husband because I said, I think we need to put them to bed earlier.
Yeah.
And he goes, yep, 5 p.m, babe, let's do it. I'm like, I'm not joking. Like, he tries to make a joke, you know? And I'm like, well, babe, we're doing something wrong. If it's taking us this long, why don't we try? So there you go.
Yeah. So for a 4-year-old, I would say like 6:37 is where it's at.
Yeah.
But we want them to be kind of asleep, So if you're putting them into bed at 7 and they're taking 3 hours, not ideal.
Yeah.
Once you get a handle on that sort of sleep debt cycle, you'll see overnight wakes reduce because they can sleep much easier drifting through their sleep cycles overnight without waking up all the time because that extra cortisol's on board.
So is it a myth the earlier you put them to sleep, the earlier they'll wake up?
100% is a myth.
Oh, I'm playing this for my man.
Oh, literally.
Because he's like, if we put them to sleep at 6 or 6:30, he's like, they're going to be up by 3 a.m.
No, it will go the other way.
Oh my God.
So you'll see,
I've been saying this to him.
But do they wake up early, like now? If you put them
no, like I usually wake them up for school like 6:37.
Yeah, okay. So if typically for little ones, and I'm talking sort of under 5, that sort of the more sort of sleep debt they have, the harder it will be for them to sleep overnight. So they might have split nights where they're awake for sort of hours in the middle of the night, or they're waking up very frequently, either wanting you to come back and lay with them or you're bringing them into bed and co-sleeping. So that's sort of what if we can bring that, because you've got to think about it. If they're up at 6 in the morning, if they're not going to bed till 8, 9 o'clock, that's a huge day for a 4-year-old, right? Like that's a lot.
And it'll affect their next day for them.
Totally.
Their moods. No wonder she's so grumpy.
Moods.
She's always grumpy.
Like food, they snack and graze and they don't eat a lot. Behavior is a big one for toddlers. Totally. Screens and lack of sleep.
Yeah.
Those two combos.
Good to know about screens. I've removed all iPads in our household and I've noticed a huge difference.
It's
I've
dramatic.
got the Tony boxes.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
I love it.
So fun. Yeah.
They love it.
And that's a really good like wind down as well. Like to say, okay, we're going to listen to one of these and then it's time for lights out, or mum's going to lay with you for this one and then I'm going to go.
Okay.
So it's just about
putting the boundaries out from the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what if they're like, they just have a fit when you go, you've just got to ignore it?
That's where you've got to have that. And this is what we teach through our consultations and programs of how to manage that behavior without feeling like you need to shut it down and silence them really quickly. Like we hear them out, we let them know.
Validate their feelings.
100%.
I've listened to all of these gentle parenting. Yeah. My husband laughs sometimes when like one's having a tantrum and I'm like, I understand how you're feeling and I would be frustrated too.
Yeah.
And they're still screaming and he's like, it's funny to watch sometimes, isn't it?
And there's some very funny reels too about, but like gentle parenting, I feel, we're all gentle parents.
I feel like sometimes I feel like it doesn't work, to be honest. Like I should just go back to the olden days with the smacks. My mum, like, sorry mum if you're listening, but the smacks.
Yeah, I got the spatula.
Seriously, me too. Like, and I was a very good child, so I don't know. I know it does work, but it's challenging.
I mean, there's a spectrum, right? You've got to, I feel like we've gone a little bit too to the left of like, child is leading everything.
Yes.
Children need boundaries.
Yes.
And we are the parents and we need to be able to, yes, we can hear them out, but at the end of the day, we know what's best for them. We know that sleep is so good. It's like we manage screen time, we manage what they eat. Sleep is the same. It's the same thing, but we lose those sort of boundaries because we're tired. And it's the end of the day. We just want them to go to sleep really quickly. So we're like,
so you give in faster,
works, I'm
right?
going to do that.
Yeah. So is there a like the main tip when a child is going to have that tantrum and you said, you know what, it is bedtime and you're going to bed now and mummy's going off?
Yeah.
Is there like one thing that every parent should be doing if they're, having that tantrum?
Just being patient. Again, it's getting the lead up right. So really making sure we're having an appropriate bedtime. We're not doing screens before where they're losing that sleep pressure, because we do want to make it as easy as possible for that little one to induce sleep, you know. And so if we're doing things in the lead up that aren't complementing, this is where you're going to have hours of back and forth screaming, you know, and it's really hard for that parent to stick with it because it's like they're literally never going to go to sleep. But if you can, do the lead up and you know that they're ready for sleep, and now it's just that change in how we're going to sleep, 100% they're going to go to sleep. Like they're not going to stay up till midnight. But I would say be patient and don't force it. Just like we wouldn't force feed them. Okay. You don't need to force the sleep.
So don't walk them back into their room like every time they come out. Like you're going back to bed.
So it's about having that settling method, whether you be in the room or whatever that is, and then sticking with that so they can start to learn that new expectation of what sleep looks like for me right now, because at the moment they know one thing. Yeah. And when parents chop and change every night, they cannot pick up that pattern. Like you're just going to invite more pushback, more like what's going to happen if I keep going? What's mum going to do? What's dad going to do? It's like if it's so black and white, that's just what they know. Yeah. And then they say, okay, it's bedtime,
So for a 4-year-old, what would be the best settling method?
It depends on what's happening right now, but like probably starting for your case, you would start in the room and you gradually remove how much input you're doing. So you use those tools like we can listen to one story and then, if she's getting up out of bed and, walking over to you or whatever, it's okay, well, mummy really needs you to stay in your bed. I'm going to have to pop out of the room if you can't stay in your bed because I need you to be safe and it's bedtime. We're going to come back and try again. So then we come back and try again. And it's literally just
repetitive.
Very. The first couple of nights it is. Just repeating and it's sort of annoying for the parent. Yeah. But it pays off in big ways because that child starts to know and I'm going to try this tonight. Consequences. Yeah.
I'm going to try it tonight. Because sometimes we don't have screens, but sometimes the older kids will put the TV. Yeah. Like after they've finished homework and activities. Yeah. And I think even removing that is something I probably need to do.
Yeah. Like obviously it's a big difference with a 14-year-old to a 4-year-old.
It's hard when they're all different ages, isn't it? Because you can't like police the whole household.
I guess you could say to your older children, like, because she'll be going to bed at sort of 6:30ish, and then after that they can have some time with the TV or whatever they do. Yeah.
So you've got 3 boys of your own.
I do.
Do you use your own techniques with them?
So
and has it worked?
Oh, my boys are very good sleepers.
Oh, of course. You're the sleep teacher. Of course.
I've been very lucky. My first 2 were just really naturally great sleepers. Super blessed. I was very lucky. Still now, like Billy, my oldest, is super chill temperament. Like love him so much. Love all of them. But,
not favouring any.
No. But my third came to test me and my settling methods, and it's everyone. All children are different. Mm-hmm. I think my third is very stubborn and determined. Love him for that.
Yeah, they say that with the youngest usually, right?
Yeah, but he didn't love the cot naps when he was little. Like my other two would just put him down, they'd sleep, great. He was like, absolutely not, screamed when I tried. And I was like, what is going on? Like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
And it was just his temperament's different. He's very affectionate still now. He's like physical touch is his love language. Like you can see it. And he just wanted to contact nap, and it took a bit longer, and I just needed to sort of settle into that. And that kind of showed me that, well, you can still have good sleepers even with those harder, children that really are persistent with wanting one particular way.
Yeah.
And it's just about kind of exposing them gently to like, yep, but sleep can also look like this, and it's a good thing. So yeah, he just took a little bit longer. I'm not saying he was about that sort of 9 months, but where the others were, 4 and 5 months, that they were sort of had it down.
Yeah, so just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Every child is so different.
Totally. Yeah.
What was a big takeaway from the research into sleep science for you? Was anything that stood out?
How much sleep impacts everything in our life.
Yeah.
Like everything, relationships, health, friendships, like it just is such the driving force behind how we feel in our day to day. And for babies and little ones, it literally is where they grow, their immunity.
I know, it's so important, isn't it?
Oh my goodness, it's so important. And, it's really tricky, because parents, if their little one was struggling with feeding, they would 100% get help. They would be like, my child's not feeding, they're not latching, they won't take the bottle, what do I do? But when their child's not sleeping, it's like, well, I just have a bad sleeper. It's like, no, like you just need support, and you just need to understand how you can help your little one, have it be easier for them. So it's just really that in itself, and just knowing, like, if you knew how good sleep was. And I've had, toddlers that have come to us waking hourly, overnight, screaming, whatever it is. And then we help them. They start sleeping all night, 11 to 12 hours. And the mothers are like, oh my God, they're talking so much. And they're like, it's because that is where, for little ones, especially in that first part of the night, everything they've learnt that day gets filed away. What they don't need gets removed. Like, it's just so, it's such a gift that you can give to your child.
Wow. Yeah. No, it is so important for development and everything that you're saying. And then also for the parents' mental health and having a second for each other once everyone's asleep. Like, we're not getting that second for each other because we're taking hours putting her to sleep. So if someone wants to reach out to you and get them in, because I'm going to be asking for more detailed tips for Giselle after this, is it online? Is it in person? How can people contact you?
We have our Instagram page, which is @thesleepteacher. You can email me. It's beck@thesleepteacher.com.au. That's our main sort of, we have the website as well, which is all linked on
people can be remote from you. And
we do worldwide. So
amazing.
Yeah, we've got clients in New York, a lot of New York actually, which maybe they're Australian living over there.
Yeah.
But, so we do everywhere. It's all, we can do like Zoom, WhatsApp.
Amazing.
It's very much online as well, email, calls. Yeah. So it's
incredible.
Fantastic, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Beck, for
Thanks
coming on.
Yeah.
And I have a lot to think about tonight, and a lot to share with my man, because a lot of myths that he thinks is a myth isn't.
No.
So I need to go and educate him and really get on top of us being on the same page when it comes to Giselle, because it's just ruling our lives at the moment, and it's definitely showing in her moods. Like, I have been speaking on my socials about her and the tantrums and, the personality and the sassiness, and some of that's great, but some of that I think will be because of lack of sleep for sure. Well, so
you know how we feel when we're tired, and little ones don't have that like ability to be like, just suck it up, just put a smile on, like.
Definitely. So I will be contacting you for sure to get some more details on that. But I have a little bit of a rough like outline in my head of how I'm going to approach this. But thank you so much.
So
and
welcome.
If anyone does want to contact you worldwide, Australia-wide,
get on it.
They can message you on Instagram.
Absolutely. I'm always in the DMs. Love to hear from everyone.
Yeah.
And just don't wait till it's crippling you.
Yes.
You know, just reach out because it can be so much better. And it's not as scary as what you think.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Beck.
Thank you.